Hi, I'm Sherry Platt, career voyant and career transitions counselor, and one of my favorite topics on the planet Earth is talking to people who decide to take the leap in their careers, leaving one position or one field of interest and going into another, even though they're scared to death. And today I have two very special people with me, Ron, my brother, and Kate, my very dear friend, and they are working on a super cool project that I want them to share with us, but I also want to talk about your transition into doing this, this fairly risky but very important endeavor.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Ron, give a little background.
We are creating the first of its kind association that's going to cater to people who are in the process of getting divorced or have a single family household. The association is called the National Association for Single and Divorced Families, and we're providing products, services, and support for people who are in that transition in their life.
I sure wish this would have been around when I was going through all of my divorces.
Yeah.
That's a joke. Anyways, okay, and what are your roles here?
I'm the co-founder, and Kate is the other co-founder of the association.
Do you say anything or
No, I was going to have you do like a puppet thing, but I do say things just like that. So he spelled it out perfectly. I don't know what else you want me to say right now.
No, okay, good. So Ron, tell us about a little bit about what you have been doing, and then your transition.
Sure. Not the first time I'm transitioning into another career. Okay. I was in the insurance business for 16 years, basically doing everything there was to do in the insurance business, and then got into real estate 23 years ago.
Okay.
Now I'm transitioning to be the co-founder of the association, and that will be a full-time job. The real estate will be one aspect of it, but more so on a referral basis versus me selling individual homes.
Okay. And Kate, talk us a little bit about what you've done and... Here, you can hold this right there.
So,
that's perfect. Thank you. Great, thank you.
So I'm on the spectrum, and work has always been challenging for me because of that.
Okay.
And finding my way has always been challenging for me because of that. I didn't attend college. I don't have a college education. I'm also a recovering addict alcoholic. So my work life has been finding different jobs and staying at them until I burn out because I'm not taking care of myself. I was late diagnosed autistic. So this is utterly different because instead of a safety net of a job where I show up every day and I may be miserable and barely able to hold on, but it's still a guaranteed paycheck week after week, and all I have to do is do what's outlined in front of me and stick to the tasks at hand, this is building an entire national association and social justice programs and connecting with people on a level that centers around integrity and growth and spirituality in many ways, none of which I'm trained for, none of which, I have the background for because I've done, in the various jobs that I have had or in volunteer work, I've done things like organize things on a massive scale or launched social justice programs, but much smaller than this. Right. This is nothing like what I've ever been used to.
Okay.
But when Ron showed me the business plan for this, I took it home, I looked at it, I did what an autistic does, right? I highlighted everything and I did a deep dive on every single terminology and this and that and the other. And I came back in the next day and I said, this is amazing. And from that, because anyone knows, right, starting anything new, starting any company that's new, what's the word of the day? It's pivot, right? You always have to pivot and find the new as you change, and your goals change, and what you want to do changes, and you have to just keep realigning and shifting with it. And it started off with this, okay, we're going to model it after AARP.
Right.
And offer products and services, and now it's turned into, okay, so that's one arm of NASDF. Right. And the other arm, we want to create 2-gen programs to help fight intergenerational poverty. We want to go after the foster system and the adoption system and institute reforms. Child support is wackadoodle, to use a word that we can use on social media. I want to eventually be able to implement changes in that too, but we're going to have to be a monster before we take that one on.
Okay.
So if this
Give
is
us 2 years,
maybe 3.
So let me ask you both. So the biggest fears that you had to overcome to jump into this, right? Because I know you're not generating an income right now. So Ron, what was the biggest leap you had to make to pursue this dream that you've had?
Sherry and I grew up with an entrepreneurial father, and I think the fear was in twofold. You have to determine what is a worst case scenario and what's the best case scenario. And if the worst case scenario is not that bad, then go for it.
Okay.
If you make mistakes along the way, that's okay, because from mistakes you learn, and from learning comes more success.
Okay.
So I never had a fear about going into this. I did not have a fear about getting out of insurance and going into real estate, because I knew that I had the ability to do what was necessary, and I was a good salesman.
Okay.
Going into this is such a passion of mine as a foster parent. I've seen the atrocities that go on with foster kids. So I knew that my calling was to help make that change.
Okay.
As women are losing the right to have an abortion, there's going to be more foster children thrown into the system, and it's a mess. And we need to legislate, make sure we have lobbyists in Washington legislating for those children and giving them a voice, making sure that parents have a voice in which parental unit gets the custody of the child, instead of waiting through the court systems 15, 16 years for them to decide. It needs to be decided on a much quicker basis, and making sure that the right parent is actually getting the custody of the child.
Okay. And Joy, what was your biggest fear that you had to overcome to follow this?
I'm scared of everything all the time. So my biggest fear is leaving the bed in the morning.
And yet here you are, and you show up every day.
Here I am. I think my biggest fear too is being like, this is it. Right, like, I mean, this is when you say taking the leap, that's exactly what we are doing. We are walking hand in hand up to the edge of a cliff, looking over and being like, I sure hope the chute opens, right? And jumping, because there's no way to answer what's the biggest thing that I'm scared of. I'm scared of a lot of things. I'm scared of the things that everybody's scared of when they start something: failure, the pain of failure, poverty, just having to start all over with something, having a dream that you want so badly crumble in front of your eyes, all the things that we're scared of. But as you know, I don't know who first coined it, but we keep saying over and over, if you don't take the risk, the answer is always no. Right. So
exactly. Thank you so much. I'm excited about this project, and I've seen the work they've both done, and it's extraordinary. And you launch officially today, is that correct?
Correct.
So they are in the process of taking the leap. Now, is there a place they can go to see your website?
NASDF.org.
NASDF.org. And I want to thank you both for taking the time. And remember, taking the leap, that's how we grow, expand, that's how we heal the planet. If they weren't doing what they were doing, then there'd be a lot of people without the services they need. So check us out. We have a YouTube channel at Sherry Platt on YouTube, and you can check out Taking the Leap episodes there, and also you can check me out on Instagram and Facebook, sherryplatt.transitions. I look forward to seeing you at the next Taking the Leap. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.